Hey YouTube, welcome to the Subprime to Prime YouTube channel. Here, our focus is to get you from subprime to prime. And that all starts with knowing where we're at so we can know where we want to go on our financial journey. This channel is for information and educational purposes only and is not intended to be legal or financial advice. Alright, let's get into it. In today's video, I want to talk about who you're banking with. Now, when you've had a couple of bumps and bruises financially, oftentimes it's hard to get into the big banks, and you'll have to rely on credit unions and local branches to, get yourself started or get yourself, into a bank that, will work with you. And then we have, these second chance banks that will provide you with banking services and things that you need when you've had a few blemishes. And we're going to talk about check systems and how, if you're on their radar, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a bank, and then you'll have to rely on institutions like Chime, where you get your money loaded onto a debit card and essentially your bank's in your pocket. Well, when you are in a situation where your banking is not exactly in the prime area, and you're using second chance banks and those types, the cost of money goes up dramatically. Sometimes you're paying additional fees and things like that. And it's one of those things that until you get your finances straight, you won't be able to get into the bigger banks. And if you are a veteran, or if you are family member of someone who's already in a Navy Fed credit union, credit unions are awesome because a lot of times, anybody can get into them, and they offer a level of banking that's a little bit more friendlier and not as, some of them are not as credit sensitive. And there's some that require a hard pull in order to get into them. And then, as we've spoken about credit and how important a role that plays in your overall financial health, if you are in a situation where your credit is really, really poor because you've made late payments, or because you're overutilizing credit, it is going to essentially be tough for you to get into certain financial institutions. And what we want to do is we want to try to make sure that we're paying our bills on time, and we're not using as much credit on cards if you have them, and we're using any extra income to pay those down so that we get into a better standing. Now, with banking, it is important where you bank, but when you're on this beginning come up, so to speak, if you're in a subprime zone, what you're going to want to do is, a bank like Navy Fed, there is a multitude of ways to get in it, and there are tons and tons of videos that show you how you can get into them. There are quite a few ways, but the main one being related to somebody who's already a Navy Fed member, i.e. a parent, a child, a sibling, something like that, in close proximity, or a roommate of someone who is. And those are just a few ways that you can become a member. And then you have other credit unions like PenFed, who are absolutely non-geographically restrictive, and you can join that particular credit union, and they offer a great deal of banking products. But right now, if we're not ready to really apply for new credit and things like that, and we're trying to just stabilize, second chance banks often offer those products that and banking services that you can use right now. So if you're in a situation and you do require banking that is a little bit more forgiving, I would implore you to look up a few second chance banks online so that you can kind of get your feet wet back into the banking system. Now, if you're on check systems, that one's going to be a little bit tricky. And like I said before, this isn't a channel on credit repair or anything like that. But there are folks out there who can help you out with disputing things on check systems, and you can go to FTC's website and navigate how-tos with regards to trying to see if you can't dispute some of those items on check systems. Now, you might want to just do your research on that, but if you're starting from scratch and you're needing a bank, second chance banks often are much more forgiving with people with troubled banking history and limited credit. And by all means, if you're in a situation where you can get into Navy Fed or Penn Fed or one of the credit unions near you that may be a little bit more lenient, do so. We're wanting to fix how we bank so that we can take charge of our finances and go a little bit further with new incoming streams of income. If we're working on that, we should always be working on trying to get more income coming in. That's always helpful when you're trying to pay down debt and just overall start to repair your finances. So again, actionable step: seek out second chance banks if your banking is super limited, or on the next level, try to get into a credit union. And there's a ton of videos on credit unions that you can join and that have information on those. Now, again, you're starting fresh, so these little bumps and hiccups are just par for the course. You'll get there, and we're working on it. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Subprime to Prime. Thanks.